All right, doing a sound check. All right, doing a sound check.
Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing.
Your audio was a little low. Audio was a little
My
low.
audio or just the setting of it?
Just the setting.
Got it.
Just the setting.
Got it.
Just the setting.
So you're saying it's her, not you. So you're saying it's her, no, vice. Her, no, vice.
Speed this. I just need to move it probably.
Yeah.
I just need to move
Yeah,
it.
but you.
I was gonna say it's that I like do this because it gets in my face a little too much. That's what it is.
Are you leading it this time?
I am. We are live. Good morning, everyone. It is February 16th. Just want to, sorry, got to change the scene. Now you can see us. Yeah, it's February 16th, 2021. And it's another Canvas admin office hours. I'm Jake Standish, and I'm joined by Justin Keene and Amy Slack. Sagan is, of course, lurking. We see his nice milk cactus just enjoying the sunlight there.
The thing is getting huge.
It really is.
Awesome.
But all right. So let's start with today's reminders. This is weird. I got to remember to click in the right place. Canvas.cmslearns.org, of course, is where all of our resources are curated for you to get more information about things CMS specific for Canvas. The Google accounts, just it's constantly we have issues with this all the time, so we just always put that up there. The bit.ly or j.mp/cms Google account or ACT will get you there to see information on how to make sure that you're logged in with just your CMS Google account.
I see what you did there.
Yeah.
It'd be it.ly and j.mp.
Yeah, so they're the same thing. So j.mp/itpd office hours. The forum is open all the time. We do have 4 questions already in, so we will start with those. But please fill out the form, and as you get questions, just fill those out, and we'll answer them in the next office hours or during the office hours if you fill it out right now. Reminder, of course, submit your well tickets. Include as much detail as you can. We still get, there's an error in our tickets. Okay, well, what is the error? Give us a screenshot. Copy the text of the error verbatim. Do not paraphrase. Give us exactly what the error is. The details in there may not be apparent to you, but they shed a lot of light on what the issue is for us. So need to see errors if you are getting errors. And of course provide links to the specific resource wherever it happened. Give us that link. Of course, if you are taking any of our professional development courses, the Canvas Challenge, Google Drive Challenge, or anything else that we support, there's a Canvas support form in those courses. Of course, make sure you use those when you have questions about our professional development offerings. PowerSchool changes in Canvas can take 24 to 72 hours, as we always remind you of that. Yeah, that's probably not going to change. That's just reality. And digital learning consultations, Aubrey and Trish both have links there if you need to talk to them for digital learning needs, how to best use Canvas instructionally or any other resource for instruction. All right. Whoa, what happened there? I got to go back to home.
Click home.
There it is. All right, so on to updates. We have some issues that we're seeing with the grade sync that we've noticed here. Some people are getting assignment cannot be created for section with ID, and then it'll be an ID number of some section. This is a new error that's starting to pop up, and I think it's because of the creative scheduling needs for the district right now. Unfortunately, if this is a course that was generated with PowerSchool enrollments, you cannot create new sections and expect them to sync to PowerSchool. In fact, none of the grades are going to sync with those new sections. So it looks like teachers are trying to make sections probably with the same students that are in other sections, but adding them again, that's not going to be effective for the grade pass back. If you do that, it would it might solve one problem, but it creates another, is really the answer that we want to give you here. So grades won't pass back to PowerSchool if that was done. So the simple solution is to just delete those sections and only use the PowerSchool created ones. You'll notice right here the sys ID and the number there, that's going to indicate that this was a PowerSchool course section, because it has a SIS, or Student Information System, in our case PowerSchool. It has a SIS ID that tells us this came from PowerSchool. The ones down here do not. So creating sections in a course is a problem. And as Amy is saying, yes, you should use groups instead of sections for that kind of thing. So a Canvas group in a course would serve the same purpose that they were probably trying to serve here with a section. So we have since removed the Add Section button for any course that was created from PowerSchool. So teachers won't have the option to create sections moving forward, but just wanted to point this out. It causes grade sync issues if you create sections inside of a course like that. All right. We have a Zoom webinar today at 11 with Trish Cloud. So if you want to learn more about Zoom or get any questions answered concerning Zoom for your teachers and students, please check that one out. Is there anything more to that?
The right info on that. I'm looking to make sure I got the right info because I was distracted. I'll let you know.
Okay. And grading policy resources. So we are one of the questions today in our
That is tomorrow, Jake.
16th is it's 17th, not 16th.
Yeah, my fault. I'll fix
Okay.
the date on it if you want to refresh.
So the Zoom webinar is actually the 17th, not today.
Try again.
So
one more time, my
tomorrow
fault.
at 11.
Yeah, my fault.
Okay. That's fine. So tomorrow at 11 is the Zoom meeting. Grading policy. So you are probably aware that there are some updated expectations concerning grades for students, and what score they get for even if they haven't turned in work or if it's late. All of those policy changes that are coming through. We don't have a great answer for you. There's the things that they want you to do, and there's what Canvas can allow you to do. So we are giving you what Canvas will allow you to do, and trying to make it as easy as possible. You can set a default grade for an assignment, and if students don't turn it in, you can set a grade to whatever you want it to be. Could be 0, but you could set it to something else like 50. So you can set a default grade, and it will go back to previous assignments for this quarter. You wouldn't be able to do it for previous grading periods, first or second quarter, but you can do it for third, and moving forward into fourth, you can set them to a default grade. You can apply late policies and missing submission policies. All the directions are in these links here, and it's going to get you a ways towards what you're trying to accomplish, but it may not do exactly what CMS is saying you need to do, which means you will have to do some more manual configuration, some adjusting of grades and individual student grades manually. There's just the functions that we have available to us in Canvas do not necessarily match identically to the expectations, so you will have to monitor and manage your gradebook accordingly. But we can get you quite a ways there with these resources. All right. Anything y'all want to add to that?
I'll add a little bit if you don't mind, Jake.
Sure.
My teachers have been working on this and trying to figure it out. We provided you with these 4 resources because these are the 4 resources that have been helpful to my teachers. So there's kind of 2 ways to do this. The late policy and missing policy are going to help you kind of look at the whole grading period, and it's going to be able to kind of retroactively look back at any zeros, well, any things that were not graded, and help set that default grade for you. One thing of note with both missing and late submissions, if it's an external tool, neither one of these policies will affect it. And keep in mind, external tools are going to be something like new quizzes, because that's how new quizzes have been built inside of Canvas. So these policies, while helpful, will not do everything, like Jake was saying, for the CMS grading policy. So there will be a lot of manual input. Now, the setting a default grade for an assignment, that's assignment by assignment. That's the teacher going to the grades page, hovering over the title of the assignment at the top, clicking on the three dots, and setting a default grade for that specific assignment. If a teacher is like manually already put in zeros, it's not going to overwrite the zeros because it's going to see a zero as a submission. So again, none of these are perfect, but some of these might help your teachers in some capacity, make their lives a little bit easier, because this is a big adjustment for a lot of our teachers, and we understand that. Unfortunately, Canvas just wasn't designed to kind of handle this kind of major grade change policy kind of mid-semester. So we're kind of just giving you the resources we can to help try to make that a little bit easier on teachers. But we do understand that some of it just doesn't work the way we want it to work.
All right. Next in the how-to, we got keyboard shortcuts. Justin, do you want to take that?
Yeah, this was this is a document I used to give to the staff when I was a TF, and a lot of them would print it and put it up in their rooms. Just little shortcuts, and I would say, looking at the list, I'm sure we all have favorites. The one that I like the most is the paste without formatting. Control
Very
Shift V,
much.
or if you're in a Mac, Command Shift V. Um, the reason I like that one is, and we see this with Canvas a lot, and Jake will agree, somebody will copy something from a document or a website and they'll simply paste it into the Canvas page, and that's where your formatting gets wonky. The Command Shift V eliminates that formatting. So he's going to show us here.
Yeah, I just pasted it. It was white font in the document. The Windows key was white font. So when I paste it, it's still white font. It says Windows key. That cell contains the word Windows key, but it's white, so you can't see it.
And then Control Z is an undo, which I love.
So
And now
the Control Shift V did the paste formatting. Yeah.
so that one's my favorite, is the Control Shift V. Jake, do you have any others on there that you use? Or I know you're the keyboard master.
Let me see what we got. I mean, Control F for find.
Oh gosh, yeah.
in all of the time. It's not here, but Control
I tried to
L.
do it as one picture.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I do Control L a lot.
Control L. Alt Tab, though, I'd say for what's on there, that's the big one. That's
Another
a
one
huge
for
resource to be able to just see all of your applications and just go to the one you want without having to mouse around all over the screen to get to it.
another one that would get you accused of wizardry in the classroom by your students is the Control Shift T. And you guys
Oh
know
yeah.
I'm telling the truth. They think they're clever and they close a tab out, which is Control W. I don't think that's on there either.
Yeah.
But Control Shift T will reopen those tabs. And so if you, I remember walking around the classroom and knew they were up to something and do a quick Control Shift T, and they just look at me and I'm like, I've done it to my own son actually. He'll be in the other room and I'll come in and do it. He'll just give me this look. But on a personal note as well, I mean, how many times do you accidentally close out something? Control Shift T opens it right back up, and it'll go quite away.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use Control Shift T a lot. I like Control L. Out of these, I use Control A a lot when I want to just select everything real fast. I do use that one a lot.
Another one not on here is Control K. So highlight your
Oh,
text, Control K to link it quickly, and that works in Canvas as well.
if you take either the Google Drive challenge or the Canvas challenge, either one, there is at least one or two tasks that talk about Control K, and I make sure to tell them how to use Control K and also to use the like buttons themselves. So Control K is probably our most taught one. So we are definitely teaching a lot of people how to do those.
So
Yeah,
we thought
very
we would
good.
share this out. Good little resource. Feel free to make a copy of it, add to it on your own, but worth using.
Indeed. Yeah, you don't realize how much time you spend touching your mouse until you learn a few shortcut keys and you realize how much faster you're getting around to things. Like just Control T to open a new tab, and then you start typing where you want to go, and then you didn't have to touch your mouse for the last 20 seconds. That's a lot of time savings.
Mm-hmm.
What's funny is I remember my first shortcut key I learned was Alt Tab.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
My wife taught me that one many years ago.
That's a
So
power user feature to be able to do that.
yeah.
It's not going to show up on the screen while I'm doing it though, unfortunately. But just know that I'm using it right now as we're live streaming to get to all the applications because I like simple systems. I don't want 3 or 4 or a dozen monitors like some of my peers. So instead, I have just 2 nice minimal screens. So I have to Alt Tab to get to the applications that I'm doing because I've got layers and layers of applications right now.
You just threw a little shade our way, Justin, there, talking about us using all our monitors.
Oh,
We'll forgive him.
my son was coming in. Thanks,
It's all
Jake.
good. It's all good. Uh,
Yeah, I've learned to use so many of them because of working with you. And before I forget, on the home screen, today's meme, if you
yes.
know the reference, you know why this is funny. If you don't
Yeah.
know it, feel free to click it. It's the troubles
That thing.
of dealing with virtual meetings. Someone had a filter that made him look like a cat, and it was a lawyer, and it's hysterical. So
It's a very wholesome, just
yes.
innocent, funny story, and well worth the laugh if you don't know what we're talking about. Check it out. Um, all right, as we go into the form, please remember don't submit questions with personally identifiable information like student IDs or email addresses or full names. Names in general, don't need them. But if you got questions, please fill out the form at j.mp/CMSITPD office hours. All right, looks like we got several questions, so go through the first ones here. First, we have Jennifer is asking, we have a new hire teacher and are trying to get Canvas set up. When we pulled an ELA page from Commons, okay, I'm not sure why you would pull from Commons. How do we get her a blueprinted course? So it sounds like Jennifer, this will need to be a ticket. I'm not really sure all the details of what's going on here, but if they are hired as a teacher and they have enrollments in PowerSchool, they will get the course in Canvas. And then the blueprint will sync data from the blueprint into that course, and all of that, like the course is created in PowerSchool, 24 to 72 hours for it to have to be created in Canvas, and then 24 hours from there is when you can expect to see the blueprint. So this could be a couple of days and maybe it will work itself out. But you'll have that situation. And it just takes a little while for that info to come in. But again, a ticket is the best way to get that resolved, and providing the full details of the teacher so that we know can look into PowerSchool, we can look into Canvas and see where things are and get that solved. And Karen's saying that kids are getting a message that their password has been exposed. Where are they getting this message? And please put in a ticket. Put in a ticket explaining the situation. Not sure what this is about, but if there is a message and this needs to be addressed, that should be a ticket for sure. Brianna, thank you for bringing this up, Brianna. This was kind of explained what our situation is with what we're trying to explain for grades in Canvas. When defaulting grades to 50% on assignments that are not turned in, will it go back and make those grade changes or only moving forward? So like we were saying, you can set a default grade for an assignment and it will populate if, heavy emphasis on if, you have not already typed a grade in for that user. So if they haven't turned anything in and you haven't given them, let's say, a 0 for not doing the work, then it can give you a 50, but it yeah, so
She's also asking here about so the missing and late policy will go back retroactively for some assignments, and it takes a little bit of time.
Yeah.
So I had a teacher yesterday where we tested this and we thought it did not, and then this morning she emailed me and said it did. But so it does take a little bit of time, and it doesn't do it for everything because again, if it's an external tool, it will not touch it. And external tools are a lot of assignments out there. So things like Edpuzzle, Problematic. I'm trying to think of others. New
Atomic
quizzes.
Jolt.
Atomic Jolt. Yeah, there's a lot of them out there that teachers may not even realize they're using external tools. So it will retroactively go back to anything within this quarter, but it will take some time, and it will not touch anything that's an external tool. So again, Brianna, this is not a pretty answer, and we know that.
All right, Padlet question. Teacher contacted me regarding student use of Padlet. Since it is anonymous and not moderated, students are using it for inappropriate chat conversations. Yeah, any tool they could use for that. There are so many places where you can type and anyone else can see it. So yeah, Padlet could be used for that. Are there a lot of teachers using it with students? It varies. I know there would be a significant number of teachers that are using it. I can't give you a number because we do not subscribe to Padlet's backpack or whatever you're talking about there. We don't have a paid subscription. There's no way for us to track usage for Padlet. Is there a way to block it just for student use? Well, teachers individually have the ability to block any website they choose using Dino. So, Marjorie, you're at a middle school, so your teachers have use for Dino. They could configure Dino to prevent Padlet. If as a school, if the decision is made to you don't want Padlet, you could put it on the block list in the Chrome user settings for your students to block Padlet. So when they're on their Chromebook or logged in with their CMS Google account, they would not be able to use Padlet. So that would be an option. Or you could make a request that Padlet be blocked district-wide if you think it's that big of an issue. But overall, I think a lot of people really like Padlet and want to keep using it, and there could be quite a bit of resistance to that. Like I said, there are a lot of tools that the teacher can use. They could even allow Padlet, but observe what the students are doing in Padlet and monitor in Dino what is happening there. So those would be the resources we can provide for that. Kind of, it's probably not the perfect answer, but that's where we are with free resources like Padlet that we are not subscribed to. That's probably the best answer we can give you. All right. Where we?
I've got this one, Jake.
Okay.
Hi, Amanda. Thanks for your question. So first off, I did get your email. First off, I just want to with the support inbox. We try to reply within 24 hours. I do have my main job as the tech facilitator at Butler High School, so this is my side gig, but I do typically respond within 24 hours. This is specifically about a task that I know we're having some difficulty with. So this is the task where we are asking users to put a page number at the bottom of a Google Doc. We are currently trying to troubleshoot why we are getting some weird, I guess, outputs happening here where it's not marking it correct, even though it should be. And so we are taking a look at this. I haven't had a chance to take a look at yours quite yet. I will get to it this afternoon and take a look at it and provide you with some guidance and or an admin override if needed. But we are currently trying to figure it out. It used to happen like once in a blue moon, like once every 100 users, we'd have an issue with it. It does appear to be a more frequent issue recently, which is exactly why I spent a good part of my day yesterday trying to troubleshoot exactly this task. So we apologize for that. As far as just getting stuck overall, our general approach to this course is definitely it's a little bit of tenacity, a little bit of just keep working and taking a little time troubleshooting. It can take a little bit of stubbornness to get through some of this, but we do provide you with those supports and we do support that inbox pretty quickly. We just ask for a little bit of patience. You've got plenty of time to get your DLC still in, and so we'll get back to you as soon as we can, but we appreciate that you're working hard at it and I know it's a lot of work, so thank you.
All right. Next one from Robin's asking about new quizzes. Is there an extra step that must be completed to have scores from new quizzes appear in the gradebook? So what we're finding, there's a ticket earlier today that I saw where the quiz itself had a file submission requirement. And so the quiz can't grade a file submission. It can't grade an open-ended, an essay question. So if those kinds of questions are asked, the quiz you'll need to go into SpeedGrader, or in new quizzes, you'll need to look at each student's submission and apply the score that they needed for that question. Then it would update the overall score, and then it will pass to the gradebook, and then you can sync to PowerSchool. But if the quiz has open-ended questions, the teacher has to give feedback on those questions, or the quiz is not finished grading. So that's typically what's happening. I don't know the specifics for what's happening for you, Robin, but that's the first step I would assume is happened. There is an open-ended question that the teacher has to give feedback on in order for the quiz to finalize and pass grades.
The other thing that can happen occasionally with new quizzes, if it's a very busy moment or time inside of Canvas,
Yeah.
is it can be a little bit of a delay for new quizzes to populate into the gradebook.
Yeah.
But we're talking a couple of hours. It's not quite as instant as classic quizzes, where immediately, if you went to the grades, you could see their grades populating. So it does take a little bit of time, but usually within a few hours. Honestly, by the time my teacher has reported an issue to me, by the time I go check their gradebook, the grades are there.
Yeah.
So that could potentially be it. But if you're seeing that a lot, it would be a good idea to reach out to Canvas chat support and ask them what's going on as well, if that's happening frequently.
And the issue with open-ended questions in a quiz, this is happening from blueprinted content as well. So the teacher may not have created the quiz, but they have it in their course, so they've assigned it, and they don't realize there are questions, at least one, in that quiz that they have to review individually for every student and award a grade, like they would for a normal assignment. So quizzes aren't always automated grading. There are questions that simply cannot be automated, and you have to go in and look at it to give that grade.
I didn't know that, Jake.
Yeah.
That I'd learned that, but I know my kids, every quiz they always have some. They're always telling me their score, plus they have the ones to be graded still. So
Yeah.
I didn't realize there was that extra layer to push it to. Cool.
Yep. All right. So next, I am in ELA for NCVPS courses second block. Okay. Created a course in Canvas for my students to get any information, updates, and attendance, and ask questions. Okay, because you have NCVPS, you created a course in CMS Canvas for you to support them. Okay, I removed all of my first semester students and added my second semester students, plus kept year long. Now I see all of my first semester students are back. If they're coming back, that means this is a PowerSchool created course.
Which for NCVPS it shouldn't be, or maybe it does still create
Yeah,
it.
it does. NCVPS
Yeah.
courses get created in our instance. It's not where the
Yeah.
students go to do work, but it's where
Yeah.
someone like Wit could work with the students, because Wit won't have access to NCVPS, but he has access to the students in the CMS Canvas course. So if the students are getting added back, I'm confused by that, because they should be set to concluded at the end of their semester. If they were only semester courses, it was a first semester student enrollment, they would have concluded. So some really interesting things must be happening here in order to bring them back and make them active enrollments. So that's going to have to be a ticket for us to work with you to troubleshoot and solve. Or you could do office hours. We got our consultation support form as well in the Canvas admin course. So that, put in a ticket or request for a consultation so that we can troubleshoot it together live. But I'm really not making sense of how this was configured. There's, given the details you're providing, that tells us that there are things about this configuration that we need to know more about before we could give you a good answer.
So Jake, that was our last question. Do you want to remind in the course where the consultation link is?
Do that.
Probably something to add to.
See, is our IT strategies? They're
It should be.
Okay. Which, this is IT PD support.
You have to log in this way.
I just log in with Google.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, did I set it up to log in with Google?
you did.
Yes, you
Oh,
did.
I don't remember the things I do.
Yeah.
That's nice. Okay. So
Lovely.
the Canvas admin support course here, which if you're in this webinar, you probably have access to it because you are a Canvas administrator. So you would see admin consultations in the course navigation here, and it's also right here, a nice icon for it on the home page. But that will then load a form for you to fill out to describe what's going on and to then get a schedule set for meeting with us. Yep. All right. One more question. When adding extra credit in grade setup for assignment, on the score line, it should read plus extra points. I don't think the guides give you, because they kind of have modified that over time.
Yeah, I was gonna say extra points are fun, especially if you're passing grades to Power
Yeah,
School.
yeah. The
Yeah.
passing grades to Power School can cause some real problems there if you decide to do that.
Yeah. I know that when I was in the classroom, I would not do extra credit in Canvas. I manually entered that in Power School because it just always made my head hurt.
Yeah, and this is new
Um,
quizzes. Is there any way? New quizzes is
I've
gonna
got
look
a
different anyway. So
guide here. I don't see anything about new quizzes yet.
okay.
I do know that when Canvas passes a grade from Canvas to Power School, it creates room for extra credit to be passed. So, like if you ever go look at the assignment details in Power Teacher Pro of an assignment that's been generated by Canvas, you'll notice that it allots 100 points possible for extra credit. And from my understanding, when I talked to Canvas chat support about this one time, they explained that to me as like if a teacher had created an assignment that was worth 50 points, but they put in 55 points, it prevents it from erroring out. So it does allow that extra credit option to occur. So that if you enter in higher than possible points in Canvas, it will pass to Power School. But I think you mostly do that through fudge points at the bottom of the speed grader for at least classic quizzes and assignments. With new quizzes, it's a little bit more complicated. I do know new quizzes is now showing up in the speed grader, and it is like they're a little bit more easy to navigate, and they do have fudge points as well in the bottom. It just might look a little differently than classic quizzes. I did just look up the guide on it. The problem is when you look up the guide, you're going to find how to configure extra credit points for Canvas as if Canvas was calculating student overall grades. So you want to look for the instructor guide that's talking to you about how to add extra credit points for an assignment, not for the whole course. Otherwise, you're going to have a little bit of confusion there. So I'm wondering, Andrew, if you possibly looked at the one for course based on what you said.
Nice use of your custom shortcut there, Jake.
That's right. Just type CG tab and I'm searching the guides. How do I give extra credit in a course? That's not the one to use.
I don't want him to use that one because I think that's
Yeah.
I think it's more gonna be this. How do I I don't
not
know that
seeing
they're
it
gonna have
yet.
a beautiful. It might be fudge points that you're gonna need to look for.
And why is there so much in? What's that?
Yeah, they come in other languages.
Interesting.
Let's see if fudge points.
How do I
is
enter
the
grades in the
answer.
grade book? Maybe. Is it called fudge points? I did extra points.
If fudge points is how I think they word it. How do I edit or add points?
How do I adjust the point values for an entire quiz? Edit points. How do I edit points for an assignment? Maybe.
That's what I'm looking at. It doesn't have a great answer for this. I can't even find where it talks to you about fudge points in a new quiz.
How do I give extra? Yeah, just the course.
I keep talking about the course. I mean, if you click on that one, Jake, it talks about it a little bit, but I feel like it's a little confusing because it talks about for the whole course down there further down.
Add extra points to an existing assignment.
Yeah, so it is talking about the fudge points there too. But if they
Fudge
keep
points to
going,
quiz.
it's talking about way more than that. So it does show you how to do it with a rubric as well, which is good. And with speed graders. So yeah, this is the guide you would want to give them. I would just be careful. This unweighted assignment groups and using the assignment groups at the bottom, I would
Bad.
be very careful handing this guide
Yeah.
to somebody, because there's some information down there at the bottom that I would not want a teacher to touch. Like, I would not want them to try to play with any of that.
Yeah. So, yeah, it looks like what we're saying is you just add the extra points into the assignment itself.
Mhm.
And that's, yep.
Yeah.
So based on that, the wording, not exactly sure
Extra points
what it's
graders.
referring to.
I think they're going to more call it fudge points, Andrew, than extra points, but I think that you're on the right track.
All right, folks. Well, j.mp/ITPD office hours. If you have any more questions, we'll stick around for a little bit longer. Hey, the sun's out. That's nice.
Yeah.
Finally.
It's too bad my backyard's a swamp, but yeah,
I was
Well,
just gonna say.
the sun's gonna help alleviate
that's
that.
true. What was that? Oh, we got one. Windows login just came in.
Windows login. Ooh. I don't think we're the
It
right
doesn't have
people.
No.
When we try log into a PC, it says the domain not found.
It's not plugged into the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, your Ethernet cord's not plugged in, or your wall jack is not working.
Yeah. First, you got to be at school too, right? You be on CMS property. Wire it in if it's a brand new PC, or it needed to do some updates or something. You may need to wire it in.
And if I'm not mistaken, even if you plug it into the wall, the way to check that the port itself is not working is the back of the computer will light up where the Ethernet plug goes in.
This
If
is
it's
gonna
plugged
be an
in and
engineer question. Yeah.
yeah,
It's
if it's not
also
lighting up,
It's also possible, and it says, yeah, well, it says domain not found, not wrong domain. So never mind. I was thinking CMS sites versus CMS domain,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's that. I think you're right. It's just plugged in. issue.
Usually when I see this on a desktop at school, it's because the internet's been unplugged. That's usually a clear indicator.
Yep.
Yeah, but if it is plugged in and the internet appears to be correctly connected, then it's an engineer question.
Yeah.
and there's a ticket. If you submit a ticket for that, and if it is plugged in, there is a little code on the wall port that they're going to want.
Yep.
I don't remember exactly what it is, but there's a little port, a little plastic thing with a rating behind
Label.
it. Yeah, label. Thank you.
Yep.
And you'll want to submit that as well. And then I always have to remember where we had to give the room number and then the location of the port in the room as
Mhm.
well to help them out.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Well, we'll sit here for just another minute, see if any other questions come in. I'm going to duck away for just a second.
You safe?
Annie.
I like doing that to him and my kids as well. Well, good luck. To do that to the students. Amy, I don't know if I showed you, but I got something I'm using. The Far Side dailies are back out.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's fun. Oh, you're on your own for a second. I got a little one here.
They keep him hopping.
Handling interruptions in a time of COVID.
Right. The fun question with him right now is when he says little one, is it dog or kid?
Right? There is that.
Like,
It's got both
I have
going
to-
on.
It's kid. But I have to ask.
Like
Oh,
these are my little ones.
exactly. Yeah.
They never
I'm
interrupt.
curious. Yeah. Do you
It's all
use
good.
the spray bottle on the cats as well and the plants?
Yes,
Oh.
actually, for different
Yes.
reasons, but yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
My favorite is when they just sit there and they look around like, "What's happening? Where is that coming from? Why would this be happening to me? I'm innocently eating one of your plants." Like,
Do you change the nozzle so it hits them more directly?
yes, yeah, you gotta get forceful impact for them to notice.
Yeah, you gotta be aggressive with the water. Oh, poor Finn. And Scout, I guess. Even though they're eating the plants, I feel bad for them.
Uh,
Yep.
all
Well,
right, well, what do y'all think?
hope everyone has a good week. Stay
Yeah.
dry. I hear we got more rain coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, not till Thursday though. We're gonna see a little bit of sun. Go get your vitamin D outside.
It's
It's been
gonna be a
7 days.
beautiful spring at this rate. I mean,
Yeah.
everything is so watered. The trees and plants are just gonna explode. It'll
Yep.
be wonderful.
Yep. Yep.
All right. Well, y'all have a great day, and we will catch you next week.